My first human skeleton. I remember vividly finding I was so excited. I felt like it was absolutely the pinnacle of my career. In 2002, I had the opportunity to go to Yucatan, Mexico with Advanced Diver magazine. And we had been out in the jungle we go out in the jungle for 8 days at a time. About the 6th day, we'd found some vessels and some artifacts, but no human skeletons. On the 6th day, early in the morning, a fellow was scheduled to dive, and his gear wasn't prepared. So they called me over, and I grabbed my gear, grabbed my cameras, and it was in the middle of this town, by this old church, was a well. So these guys had strung some ropes around the rocks and dropped a rope down in, and I was to rappel down into the water. So I was excited, and I actually said in a pre-dive interview, "This is the one, guys, this is the one we're going to find it in." As I started to rappel down in, I got down into the well maybe about 20 feet, and the ceiling broke away out of the well, and I was in a big room, maybe 50, 75 feet across, with the water maybe 70 feet below me. And I'm rappelling down, and just below the on the ceiling of the cave were big bees' nests hanging there. And these bees, when I got to their level, they just started coming right at me. And they started stinging me all over my face and my ears and my hands. So I just let go of the rope and just rappelled as fast as I could down to the water, and I made a big splash in the water. I knew then there's something in here for me worth seeing, if I'm going to have to go through this much pain to see it. I went below the surface of the water, and I could see the bottom maybe 40 feet below me, a debris mound of rocks, crystal blue water, clear, 72 degrees, nice and cool because I'd been sweating and hot, and the bee stings on my ears were hot, so this water really cooled me off. I got down to the bottom and did a big circle. I got my video camera, and I got lights, and I'm looking, and I'm just finding big rocks. I decided to go around one more time because I might not have covered all the ground. So I went around one more time, and here it looks like the back of a human skull. And I look at it, and it is. And there's a couple scapulas laying there, and a jawbone. And as I look in the area, I can see rib bones and femurs and the arm bones, and they're all laid out. And I start taking pictures immediately. So I take a couple pictures, and I go back up to the surface, and I'm on the surface of the water, and I look up, and here's this little hole that I came through, 70 feet above me, and I scream to our leader. I say, "Kurt! Kurt!" And he says, "What?" And he echoes down. I said, "You're going to be bumming." And he says, "Why?" "Because you're going to have to come through those bees. You're going to want to see this human skeleton." He says, "Take some pictures of it. We'll look at them when you get up top. We'll decide whether it's worth sending another guy in to survey it, cartography, do a map, see what's going on." So I go back down to take a couple more pictures. My lights go out. Don't know why. My lights go out. I can't take any more pictures. So I swim around a little bit, waiting. I'm fiddling with them, playing with the fittings, sometimes technical gear underwater. Okay, I get them to come back on. So I swim back over there. The lights go out again. I'm not upset, it's just a little bit eerie being down here. But I do know, what I see is where rocks had fallen with the skeleton and broken the bones. Some of the bones were shattered. Obviously this was a person, maybe a woman, who was cleaning, washing clothes, getting water, and there was a cave-in, a rock slide. And the person, I kind of determined the death, and through the pictures that we had watched. Probably within the last 100 years. This wasn't an old Mayan skeleton, this was a Mexican person who had fallen. And there was actually a big rock about this big that had a washing basin with two little cup areas where they may have put detergent or something in, where they could clean clothes or something. The skull was broken open, and you could see inside. I could actually see the brain cavity of where the skull was and all that. It was exciting. But I knew I was going to have to climb back up through a bunch of bees to get out. It was absolutely one of the most fascinating dives I've ever had in my life. I'll never forget it.